The Out of Bounds Show is powered by the award-winning golf courses at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Oh, y'all know I'm excited. Super Bowl, March Madness, the Masters, and then the NFL Draft. I know that some of you need to upgrade your recliner or recliners. That is powered by Miskelly Furniture. That's right. You've got to upgrade. You need to upgrade. Super Bowl, March Madness, and the Masters, along with the NFL Draft. Upgrade your recliners at Miskelly Furniture. Also, check out the Purple Mattress at any of the Miskelly Sleep Store locations. This is Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Our guests join us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. And Tom Brady just retired after struggling this past season. So is Nick Saban next. We'll ask Ryan Fowler, 109 The Game, Tuscaloosa, joining us now on the Out of Bounds show. Ryan Fowler, it's been a tough few months. And then Ryan Grubb, an OC that nobody knew who he was, but very talented, top 15 OC. Really good offensive scoring efficiency numbers at Fresno State and Washington. Not only rejects Nick Saban, but does it publicly. Is Tuscaloosa burning down right now?
Well, I just did an interview a couple of minutes ago with a station here in Tuscaloosa that's part of our sister station. They're a country music station. Now, they're a morning show, but they're talking about these coordinators. It's got their attention on these coordinators. So, yeah, there's a little anxiety that is developing here in Tuscaloosa, looking for that next coordinator. I don't know if Nick calls me this afternoon. I could do the plays. We could put them in a bucket, and I could pull them out and go 31, 74, and I could just pull another one out and go, throw it deep. I mean, think about it. I could be that guy. And I won't even take half the money. I mean, it's punt. I mean, I don't know. I could do my lottery pick, coming out of the bucket. But listen, it's not good optics right now. It's not good when you look at the coordinator searches. I think I've told you, I thought early on that the name that you were hearing here in Tuscaloosa was Jeremy Pruitt, and it was strong for a few days. And I think one of the reasons why it was so strong is coming out of the Pete Golding experiment that really didn't work here in T-Town, and kind of making a transition. Like I said when I came on your show 3 or 4 weeks ago, if you love missed tackles, if you love having 10 guys playing on the field, or 12, they do a lot of those, 10, 12 packages here, you're allowed to play with 11. You can't play with 12, and you can play with 10, but it's not to your advantage. Then you're going to love Pete Golding. If you love missed tackles, if you love pass interference calls, then he's going to be the perfect fit. Alabama has a different standard. They're trying to get everything worked out. Jeremy Pruitt would have been a great hire, and I'm not saying in past tense, but it seems like that's slowed down quite a bit here in Tuscaloosa. Why did it slow down? I mean, Bo, you talk SEC college football every day. Greg Sankey has told us that he doesn't get involved in these hires as far as an approval process. There is a bylaw that requires the chancellor or the president of the institution to speak with Greg Sankey and have a meeting if you're going to hire somebody that could be. I kind of think Alabama should learn from Auburn and just look at Birmingham and give them the double birds and just say, I'm going to hire Hugh Freeze. I don't care what it takes. Auburn, you can discount them for a lot of stuff. They can handle the SEC office, and they can handle the NCAA. That's something they have a track record for. So maybe Alabama should take that approach.
Ryan Fowler, Roll Tide Insider, 109 The Game, Tuscaloosa. Is the Alabama football program burning down? We know that Kirby is now Kirby Smart and Georgia are now the number one college football program in the country.
Come on, Bo. Come on, man. Listen, we're not burning down. We just have a different standard here. I mean, we can go out and get some, quality coach, but this is a crucial hire. This is a very important hire. You don't want to rush this.
Here's the deal. I don't think people want to work for him. He's still the GOAT. He's still unbelievable CEO, manager, created the best model in the history of collegiate athletics. But there are some things that have happened. One, all the money coming in all the conferences, even though there's more here and in the Big Ten. Here's the deal, Ryan. All these coaches know they drink beer and bourbon together at the coaches conferences and in Destin in the summer, and they know about the schedule. And there's a better quality of life in 90% of the other programs, and they know they're not going to get autonomy, and they know they don't have to go through Tuscaloosa to parlay wherever they are into a new job. Those factors now work against a 70 or 71-year-old Nick Saban. Ryan?
I don't disagree with you. And listen, I think early on, I think the transfer portal actually helped out Nick Saban in recruiting because it kind of gave you that mulligan because people were using his age. Well, if you're a player, you can say, well, you know what, I want to go to Tuscaloosa. And if it doesn't work out, let's say that Nick Saban is – because that's what they use against him. Hey, he's going to be retiring soon. And if he does, then I've got to transfer. I can leave here, and I have no repercussions other than spending a little bit of time in Tuscaloosa. So when you think about the coordinators, maybe that's not there. And what everybody else is paying, Nick Saban almost created this. He raised the salaries
no question.
of assistant coaches, and now look at everybody. Now everybody else is paying. You can go to South Carolina. You can go to
MSU and Ole Miss will pay $1.5 million plus for coordinators or two.
Right, and so you think about. We were complaining when Nick Saban was hired in 2007 with a $4 million contract. Now you got coordinators that are approaching some of those numbers. So he did this, and he started paying. Now, listen, when you come to Tuscaloosa, if you're afraid of working, it's not going to work out for you. It is a long hours. I mean, how many times have you called me where I've went by that football building at 9 or 10 o'clock and did a radio interview the next morning with you and say, this is June, and they're still in the building? And right now the calendar, even though, he still is going to work you regardless of the calendar in the NCAA is all messed up. But I know you guys have covered that, ad nauseum.
Yeah, so, let's stay on Bama. Ryan Fowler, Bama Insider on the Out of Bounds show and the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. So I don't necessarily know if he's lost his fastball because he just signed the number one recruiting class in the country. He's
definitely throwing change-ups.
Yeah, Ryan Fowler, he waited too long on Bill O'Brien.
He did.
And y'all didn't have – I know usually you do, but you didn't have to get ready for the college football playoff or a national championship game. And he waited too long, and he let the market get away from him on some other guys that would have been may have been in play, Fowler.
Garrett Riley would have been in play. And I think when you look at it, see, Nick Saban's always had that luxury of waiting, right? He can, he makes that phone call, and as you lose some of that power, I'm not saying all of it, but as you lose that, those phone calls we're talking right now. Let's say if I would have went to your sponsor there in Philadelphia, Mississippi, and I'd have walked up to the sports book and I'd have said, okay, because I can bet whether a squirrel is going to make it across the road. I can literally find something to bet on, okay? And I'd have walked in and I'd have said, guys, I want to bet you that Alabama is not going to hire a coordinator on offense or defense by February the 1st. What do you think those odds would have been?
Oh,
1,001?
man. Wow. That's a great point.
What do you think they would have gave me? Listen, you're now in the month of February, and you're literally, unless they're going to push spring training back, this is a short month. We got 28 days here, and then that second week in March, generally the Friday prior to spring break is when Nick Saban starts his spring training. Mm-hmm. So it looks like, and you're going to have to go outside of the family. Sorry, Auburn, I didn't mean to use your term, but going outside of the Nick Saban trend of defense, you may have to go outside to go get a coach that fits your system, unless you're just going to do a lazy hire of someone in the building. And I know that's what, at some point you're going to ask me about that. That would be one of those safety nets of all safety nets, and I think it would be a bad hire.
Ryan Fowler, 109 The Game, Tuscaloosa on the Out of Bounds show. So Todd Grantham's in the building, but that's on the DC side of the football. Is there anybody on the OC side that's an analyst that's a former blah, blah, blah head coach or coordinator that I missed, a big name?
I don't know about a big name. Derek Dooley is in the building.
Oh, good hell.
So, I mean, think about this. Okay, what if you had in Alabama, in Tuscaloosa? What if you had Todd Grantham as your DC and Derek Dooley as your OC?
Well, you're not going back to the college football playoff, and you're losing.
Precious memories. Oh, how they want. Oh, I'm sorry.
You'll lose at Auburn this year, and that's with Hugh not getting everything quite reloaded. If you do that, so I don't know. This next 7 days for the mighty GOAT Nick Saban is going to be fascinating and will decide, whether or not y'all are back in the college football playoff or if y'all go another year in a row and a third of not going to the college football playoff and a third year of not winning, third year of not winning the national championship. Damn.
All right. So, you know what? Can I use this? Because I like what you said. This next 7 days will define this end of Nick Saban's legacy. Will he go 3 in a row like I told you a few weeks ago that, he's going to get the boys back together and they're going to go 3 in a row? Will he win one and ride off to the sunset? Or will he even make it back to the college football playoffs? Because the next 7 days, I never thought of it that way. But I think you could probably say the next 48 to 72 hours will define. Because, listen, if you get, and I've got it on pretty good, Nick Saban leaves Thursday morning because, remember now, today's National Signing Day, and Alabama's already locked up the number 1 class.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, that early signing period was back in December, and those letter of intents are signed because right now they wouldn't know what coordinator that they were going to be playing for. But Nick Saban does go out of town here for a few days. He'll be leaving on tomorrow morning. But I'm sure, listen, phone calls will still work fine down in the resorts. But
he can fly people into that Georgia Lake House. I see where you're going, Ryan Fowler, but Roll Tide Insider. But here, is Freddie Kitchens really a name that you're hearing floated for OC, or is that nonsense, Fowler?
No, I think it has been because it kind of fits the MO, right? I mean, it kind of fits with what Nick Saban has done. He's hired coaches that have been former head coaches that understand that. And he needs some of those guys in the building. We can talk about coordinators all you want, but he's got to improve his assistant coaches. This was his weakest coaching staff by far. I mean, it's not even close. When you look at top to bottom, there may be some great recruiters here, young guys that can connect with the youth as they're recruiting them. But on the X's and O's fundamentals, you're not very good in certain areas. I mean, that's why this team did not reach their goals.
Y'all looked discombobulated. Y'all looked sloppy this year. It wasn't Alabama-esque. I still can't believe how y'all looked against Texas. And then the season kind of rolled out from there. You're also breaking in a new QB. So you think Kitchens could join the staff as OC, but there also could be another spot for him, like running backs coach or tight ends or something, right?
Well, there could be another spot. I'm not saying exactly where that spot could be.
Okay.
But, Freddie Kitchens' name has been here. Who knows at this point? I mean, who's left out there, Bo?
Greg McElroy? Could you bring him out of the SEC network? I'm kidding.
A.J. McCarron's playing in the XFL. He could come down and call a few plays.
I think that may be your best bet. So, Ryan Fowler, 109 The Game, T-Town, on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. What about is Pruitt out? Is Jeremy Pruitt – are you hearing that Jeremy Pruitt is out and that they scratched around there and evidently Bama and the SEC couldn't come to terms or what?
Well, I don't know if he's out.
Because I'd hire him. I wouldn't care. Everybody's cheating. It doesn't matter. There's no more rules. What are we doing?
If you go read the 51-page allegation, and you also take into consideration that Tennessee is trying to get out a broke university is trying to get out of paying about $13 million contract.
Sure. They threw him under the bus. I get it.
Right. Yeah. So if you read that 51 pages, I mean, we're literally talking about $13 million here, and I think over here in Tuscaloosa we had a person that wanted $500,000, $800,000, law school admission. I'm sure you probably talked about that over the weekend. That was a story that kind of broke, and Nick Saban told the guy to go pound sand. And then we're talking about what happened in Tennessee was giving away breakfast coupons. Yes, breakfast coupons. There's hotel rooms that's involved. There's a small thing of cash. I think it's $300 or $400 in multiple occasions, but it's hotel rooms. I mean, it's literally hotel rooms, breakfast coupons.
That's comical.
So, and then compared to what it is in college football, the NCAA needs to, show an example. I don't know if Greg Sankey, he says he's not a part of the approval process, but listen, let's go back to Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze was tried to hide after he left Ole Miss. There's multiple schools that wanted him. And Greg Sankey will tell you that he did not block him. That is not accurate. He did. And he did multiple occasions, and one of those being here in Tuscaloosa.
Okay. Ryan Fowler, Roll Tide Insider, trying to figure out what direction Nick Saban's going to go for his OC in D.C. It's February 1st, and Alabama doesn't have either one. And Ryan Grubb, offensive coordinator for the Washington Huskies, rejects Saban and kind of does it publicly. I think that was kind of a Pac-12 thing at the SEC and the GOAT and all that.
Think about it. We didn't know who Ryan Grubb was 2 days ago.
No, and then you started looking at his numbers and you're like, wow, he's phenomenal. He's a hell of a football coach. That high school story that you referenced where there was $500,000 and the girlfriend wanted to get into law school. Was that true? Have you been able to verify that? What's the latest on that, Ryan?
Well, we haven't had any media appearances with Nick Saban, but, I mean, look at the article. It came from Glenn Guilbeau. Glenn Guilbeau is a very respected name in this business. He also has ties back to Nick Saban because he covered him in LSU. I don't think Glenn Guilbeau is going to go out and put his name on an article that he doesn't believe is true.
He is respected,
So
I agree.
So that's his article. That's not an intern at a website going, hey, put your name on this. I mean, that's Glenn Guilbeau. So to me, I don't need it verified. And if we had a chance to talk with Nick Saban, I'm sure it'd be asked about. But he did not do a media availability at the Senior Bowl, which he always does.
Wow.
And he did not do a media availability today for National Signing Day because they're not adding any more in their class.
Okay.
So there's no way to verify that other than just to take Glenn Guilbeau's word.
Okay, who's going to be the quarterback? Is it going to be Ty Simpson or the other dude that you texted me earlier in the week?
Jalen Milroe is the guy that started when Bryce Young went down. Texas A&M game, if you remember, they couldn't throw the football, and I know that's a weakness of his, and I think you've got to be able to throw it. He's probably going to be a quarterback that's going to be mobile. He's going to be hard to bring down. Kind of reminds you early in the Jalen Hurts tenure. And by the way, congrats to him. He's played in the Super Bowl. He definitely improved from where he was here in Tuscaloosa to where he is now. Jalen Milroe kind of reminds you of probably a bigger version of Jalen Hurts. I mean, if you look at it, it looks like he's carved out of Stone Mountain granite.
Oh, wow.
Big physical. I mean, he is a good-looking kid until he throws the football.
Underwear champ.
That's something. Well, now he can run it. And he can, he can hand off and run the RPO side of things. But as far as passes beyond 10, 15 yards, they kind of look like a duck flying in the air. Now, he may have been able to correct that. Maybe that next quarterback coach, maybe it's Charlie Weiss Jr. up at Ole Miss. Maybe we'll go get him. That'd be a good name. Bring him to Tuscaloosa and let him fix this quarterback. I know he was a big part of what happened in T-Town a few years ago. So it's all important. Ty Simpson's another kid. Eli Holstein, a new kid that just came in, might be an option. Or if they don't feel like that there's an option out there, something tells me there'll be a quarterback that won't get his way in the spring and might be available in the transfer portal at a later date. But
no question.
Did not take did not take a quarterback in the transfer portal.
So
something tells me they're pretty comfortable there, or they haven't made a decision because they have no clue what kind of offense they're going to run.
Wow. Is this trending the wrong way under him?
Y'all are enjoying this, man. I mean, y'all instead of being like our SEC brethren where we can cry on your shoulder, you guys are taking like victory laps over the Tide struggling.
I need to be honest with you because we're friends. I damn near high stepped in the studio this morning. I was moonwalking before the show. Look, y'all have beat Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Arkansas, everybody else by an average of 41 points a game. So, I'll just be honest. I'm okay with it. I mean, he needs to struggle.
I mean, if it's like this with the coordinator hires, what are y'all gonna do when Nick Saban retires in 5 years? I mean, are y'all gonna y'all gonna shut down the state for like a week, do like a celebration? We'll have parades in the towns of the SEC that there's still a chance. I mean, what will the reaction be?
Well, I'm gonna do remotes for a week on the Strip in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, bring it. Yeah, I'll help you. I mean, I'm not busy in the mornings, so I'll come out and be your co-host.
Except during deer season. You're tough to get a hold of when you're out in that deer stand.
In the mornings is tough. The mornings is tough. I mean,
because I texted you several times and you didn't hit me back. You did later in the day, but you didn't hit me back early. Okay.
I don't have great service out at the Deer Club, but hey, listen, you're going to get me back on in a couple of days, and we're going to have the best of the best. But Bo, go back one more time. Do you think Greg Sankey should be involved with this Alabama hire?
No.
Okay.
I
agree with you.
I don't. But, he is as conference commissioner. I don't think he's involved. Well, look, he's the most powerful guy in collegiate athletics. So,
It's going to be a major battle between Jeremy Pruitt. You've got 13 million reasons why Jeremy Pruitt will want to fight Tennessee. There's no lawsuit filed right now. But if he doesn't get his money after this NCAA appearance coming up in late March, early April, then there will be a lawsuit.
If I'm Nick Saban and I want to hire Jeremy Pruitt, I say, Commissioner Sankey, I appreciate it. We got your feedback. I'm hiring him. I mean, the SEC's not going to do anything to him.
Saban would probably do yes. This easier, laid back Nick Saban in 2023. That question is still to be determined.
Easier, laid-back Nick Saban from Ryan Fowler. I guess he's lost his fastball. We're going to see what happens here over the next 7 days in Tuscaloosa. He doesn't have an OC or a DC. That was Ryan Fowler, 109 the game, Tuscaloosa.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, buddy. See you, dude. Ryan Fowler joining us on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line, the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. Blake, how many holes are in the dam in Tuscaloosa? Kirby's already the emperor of college football. You got Hugh Freeze just down the road, and LSU and Brian Kelly are coming, and there may be one more. Holy Mary Olzab. The Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by the amazing Purple Mattress from any of the Muskelly sleep stores.